As per the statements from governments in the region and satellite imagery, China has sent an aircraft carrier battle group to the East and South China Seas. The maneuvers come at a time of increasing tension in the South China Sea and a denouncement of China's recent sinking of a Vietnamese fishing vessel by members of the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee. China's naval exercise with the Liaoning aircraft carrier was first reported by Japan's military. The Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force said the Liaoning was accompanied by a battle group of 2 destroyers, 2 frigates, and a support vessel passed through the Miyako Strait between Okinawa and the Miyako Islands. Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense said the Liaoning battle group was observed moving off the island of Taiwan's eastern coast down to its southern coast. A Chinese People's Liberation Army Navy spokesperson later confirmed the Liaoning and its battle group was engaged in a naval exercise at the Miyako Strait, the Bashi Channel south of Taiwan, and in the South China Sea. But in the vicinity, Yokosuka Naval Base, Japan, U.S. has USS Ronald Reagan supercarrier. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why China deploying Liaoning aircraft carrier off the coast of Taiwan is useless as it faces USS Ronald Reagan. So let's get started. This video is sponsored by War Thunder, the most comprehensive military vehicle online game for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, in which you can go to battle on more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s. The game has an amazing attention to detail and focuses on a realistic combat experience, which is why knowing your vehicles and skill really makes a difference. It's easy to get into, and all you need to play is nothing more but your mouse and keyboard or controller. Immerse yourself in cross-platform combat with more than 20 million other military vehicle enthusiasts from all over the world. Download and play War Thunder for free using the link in the description below, and also get a free bonus tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account. Liaoning is actually built from Soviet-era Kuznetsov-class carrier hull. The Kuznetsov-class aircraft carriers were the last class of aircraft carriers designed for the Soviet Navy. 2 hulls were laid down in the Ukraine before the Soviet Union collapsed. Kuznetsov serves today in the Russian Navy. The other hull was purchased in 1998 by the People's Republic of China and towed to Dalian Shipyard in northeast China. After being completely rebuilt and undergoing sea trials, the ship was commissioned into the People's Liberation Army Navy. It has a displacement of around 60,000 tons and is conventionally powered. USS Ronald Reagan CVN-76 is the 9th Nimitz-class aircraft supercarrier. The Nimitz-class aircraft carriers were designed to be improvements on previous U.S. aircraft carriers, in particular the Enterprise and Forrestal class. All 10 Nimitz-class aircraft carriers were constructed between 1968 and 2006 at Newport News Shipbuilding Company, Virginia, in the largest dry dock in the Western Hemisphere. It has a displacement of 100,000 tons and is nuclear-powered. Being much larger, the USS Ronald Reagan can carry more than 80 aircraft, whereas Liaoning can accommodate only about 40 aircraft. It can be easily inferred that Nimitz has a distinct advantage over the Liaoning. Liaoning carries Shenyang J-15. The Shenyang J-15, also known as Flying Shark, is a 4th-generation, twin-jet, all-weather, carrier-based fighter aircraft developed by the Shenyang Aircraft Corporation and the 601 Institute for the Chinese People's Liberation Army Navy's aircraft carriers. J-15, which is basically an unethical copy of Russian Su-33, uses indigenous Shenyang limiting WS-10H engines, which are underpowered. It's thought to have a low maximum launch weight. With this weight limitation, a J-15 carrier fighter cannot carry a full load of fuel and weapons, so it neither has a good range or an effective weapons package. China's own media has come down heavily on it. Beijing-based Sina Military Network (SMN) criticized the capabilities of the J-15 as nothing more than a flopping fish, incapable of flying from the Liaoning with heavy weapons, effectively crippling its attack range and firepower. USS Ronald Reagan's strike fighters are primarily FA-18 Hornets and FA-18 Super Hornets. These are twin-engine, carrier-capable, fourth-generation multi-role fighter aircraft. They have a payload of 7,700 kilograms or 17,000 pounds, which can be used to carry ground attack weapons as well as air-to-air missiles. The versatility of the aircraft can be gauged from the fact that on the first day of Operation Desert Storm, 2 F-18s, each carrying 4 2,000-pound bombs, shot down 2 Iraqi MiGs and then proceeded to deliver their bombs on target. Liaoning uses ski ramp to assist aircraft takeoffs. The U.S. Navy uses a more efficient steam-powered catapult system to launch aircraft. Ski jump aircraft carriers have limitations regarding how much ordnance can be loaded. The weight restriction issue is caused by a minimum airspeed requirement for a flight from an aircraft carrier. Ski jump aircraft carriers generate their airspeed from the run-up distance on the deck of the aircraft carrier and an assist from the ski jump. Catapult aircraft carriers use a steam piston system that accelerates a shuttle attached to the aircraft to produce a much higher end speed. Because the weight of the aircraft impacts the end speed, the higher the weight of the aircraft, the less end speed can be generated. For example, the J-15, when launched from the Liaoning, can only carry 4,000 pounds of ordnance before it reaches its minimum airspeed requirement. Conversely, the F-18 Super Hornet can carry over 12,000 pounds of ordnance on a catapult aircraft carrier. The large differences between the two aircraft carriers will certainly have impacts on tactical considerations for mission planning and sortie generation rates. So USS Ronald Reagan is well ahead when it comes to the quality of the aircraft and how they're operated from the carrier. Apart from the strike package, USS Ronald Reagan has E-2C Hawkeye and EA-18G Growler. Northrop Grumman's E-2C Hawkeye is a carrier-capable AWACS aircraft. It's designed to give long-range warning of incoming aerial threats. Secondary roles include command and control, land and maritime surveillance, as well as communications relay. It has a 360-degree long-range radar that's effective over open seas, shorelines, and land. These provide excellent situational awareness to the USS Ronald Reagan supercarrier. The EA-18G Growler is an airborne electronic attack (AEA) aircraft. The Growler is a derivative of the combat-proven two-seat FA-18 Hornet, the U.S. Navy's maritime strike aircraft. The aircraft's missions are mainly electronic attack (EA) and suppression of enemy air defense (SEAD), particularly at the start and ongoing early stages of hostilities. The Growler is equipped with the APG-79 multi-mode radar with passive detection mode and active radar suppression. The radar is capable of jamming enemy radars by flooding it with its own radar signals. Liaoning doesn't have these kind of specialized aircraft, which is a vital deficiency. China's muscle flexing, at a time when it's being held responsible for the current world crisis, is brazen to say the least. Time and again, it's shown utter disregard to international laws and norms and threatens its neighbors. Liaoning is an impressive first attempt by China, but as evident from the comparison, USS Ronald Reagan Nimitz class is far ahead of Liaoning in terms of inbuilt technology as well as the overall ecosystem. In a confrontation, Liaoning will find it very hard to hold on against the much more well-equipped USS Ronald Reagan supercarrier. American fighters, assisted by excellent supporting aircraft, will quickly overwhelm the Liaoning. The fight may not even last an hour, as the USS Ronald Reagan will gain air dominance quickly. So, tactically speaking, deploying Liaoning will not be much use if a conflict breaks out and it has to confront USS Ronald Reagan.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.